Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. It's been a while since we all been together. I know with the bi-weekly broker briefing calls and then the holidays and like our broker meeting, it kind of threw us off a little bit, but we are back at it. So just happy Monday. Hopefully everyone's doing well. We kind of have a lot of stuff this morning to kind of go over, but I'm going to get to it. And I'm also going to ask for a little interaction because I kind of want to see where everyone is as far as their own businesses. So just to get started, there is a new listing agreement that was revised in February of like last month, 2025. It removes the seller's request to offer buyer broker compensation. Has anyone noticed that, or has anyone written a listing agreement lately?
Yes, I updated mine not too
Okay.
long ago, and
Okay.
I'm all looking for it. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought that threw me off.
Yeah. So believe it or not, Maria, there was no announcement about it.
I know.
I didn't see it anywhere, and I ended up going to PAR, and it just shows the revised version of it. But in the previous version, that was August of 2024 that came out, it gave a space there to put what the buyer broker commission would be that you negotiate with your seller. And in the new version of it, it's gone. It just says that does the seller allow you to have a conversation about the willingness to provide compensation to the buyer broker? And it's more of a yes or no. I think, yeah, Brian's going to bring it up. It's more of a yes or no question. Line 50, the buyer broker owner does or does not authorize the listing broker to communicate owner's willingness to potentially compensate a prospective buyer broker dependent on the terms of the purchase offer. Requesting compensation should be set forth in the prospective buyer offer to purchase the premises, which everyone has their own opinions on it, but I think that's better. Ultimately, what it says as as represent your seller is that you negotiate a price with your seller. You negotiate your compensation with your seller. Let your seller know, have the conversation that, during the offer, the buyer broker or the buyer may ask that they compensate their broker. But we leave that up to the buyer's agent to do that through the SCA.
Yep.
Does that make sense? So when I saw it,
Yeah.
I just wrote a listing agreement 2 days ago, and I actually like this better, just because your ultimate goal is to write on behalf of your seller. Now, if you're working with your buyer, the same thing. Make sure you have your conversation up front about the buyer being responsible for paying your compensation, but let them know there is an option to have the seller pay it using the seller compensation addendum, and they have to agree to want to do that. So they have two options as a buyer. Either they pay your compensation that you agreed on with the buyer employment agreement, or they can sign the seller compensation addendum and allow or ask the seller to pay your commission or compensation during the offer process. So I just thought it was interesting because there was no announcements about it. And typically when they change things like that, we hear about it like firsthand, and I hadn't heard anything. So Maria, you said you had to change yours. So you saw that too.
I did. Yeah, I thought it was weird. I'm all looking for it, and then it threw off all my line numbers, and because I'm trying to, because I just changed the date.
Okay.
And I extended it, so it was, it just threw off all my numbers. So it took me a while to.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was a good catch on your part, though.
Yeah.
Because this was something that I saw just recently, and I was like, okay, well, let me go find out if it had changed. And nowhere does it say it changed, but the revision date does. The revision date actually says February of 2025. The good news is .loop has already updated it. So if you're using .loop or Transaction Desk, I'm pretty sure it's updated there too, which I can verify, but I'm almost 99% sure that it is. But the platforms that we use have already updated it. So just don't use any forms that you may have saved on your computer because they may be the old forms. So, okay. So that's that. And then, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the market. How is everybody feeling out there with this current real estate market? I mean, I have the stats, but what do you guys see happening?
What kind of market are we in? Is it a
Yeah,
sellers?
it's actually going into a balanced market.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Phoenix Metro is going into like a balanced market right now. Um, what we're seeing, and we kind of predicted this. I know we kept saying, get with your sellers at the end of last year, because we knew that eventually the inventory levels were going to peak back up. So as of March of 2025, active listings has risen by 44%. So from March of 2024 to March of 2025, they've actually gone up. They've risen by 44% year over year. 37.3% of those homes listed have experienced price reductions. To me, that tells me that the buyers are getting a little bit more aggressive. And because inventory levels are increasing, buyers have more of an opportunity to shop around. So sellers are being a little bit more lenient on their price points, because they understand that the buyers have more to look at these days. We've seen mortgage rates have kind of come down a little bit, from 7.25 as it was just a few months ago to 6.75. I mean, I know to some of us that have been in the industry for a while, that's still pretty steep. But to those that are entering the market to buy right now, that is a pretty good rate compared to what they were facing a few months ago. So here's kind of where we're sitting as far as the national market. Phoenix is among the top 10 housing markets projected in 2025. Does anyone know why that is? Any ideas of why Phoenix would be in the top 10?
What was that statement?
It's Phoenix is among the top 10 housing markets in 2025.
Well, you see people moving here every day. There's so many. I mean, they're coming in by the hundreds.
Yep.
The new job forecasts.
Yes.
Really correct. Yep. So due to inventory, affordability, higher income growth for young adults, they're talking about the millennials. This is a place where millennials can still afford to live and buy homes. And then, like Maria just said, the net migration. So a lot of people are moving into Phoenix for job growth and for just sustainability. I mean, while those of us that have lived here have seen a tremendous amount of growth over the years, even with some of the properties that we've purchased, their growth is continuing. If you look at the builders that we're working with and the amount of homes that are being built in some of the areas, Surprise is designated to be the next Gilbert in the next few years. I'm working out in Santan Valley. I have been working in Maricopa for years. And even those areas, I couldn't imagine like a few years ago that it would be this amount of growth. The TSMC plant up by where Brian lives is expanding. I don't know if you heard the recent political news, but they're going to be opening, I think, is it 2 or 3 more of those here, Brian? Do you know?
I think 3, but it's an additional $100 billion.
$100 billion was invested.
Mm-hmm.
So that entire area over the next few years is going to have a tremendous amount of growth, which for us in the real estate business, those people are going to need places to live, and those people are going to need homes. And those that have homes right now are going to be selling those homes to buy in those areas. So it's a great opportunity for us. It says in summary, Phoenix, increased inventory, price adjustments. So buyers have more negotiating power right now, and sellers may need to adapt strategic pricing to attract these buyers. So that's the summary of the market here in Phoenix. So I tapped in a little bit to a couple of my lending partners over the last couple of weeks. And when it says here, sellers may need to adapt strategic pricing to attract all buyers. I reached out to Mike Tizano, and Mike Tizano has a program called the Lock and List program. And what it is the seller agrees to pay, well, there's two different tiers of it, but my seller agreed to pay $49 and was able to advertise that he's offering a 1.5% concession to buy down the rate. Well, the rate of that particular day, with the seller concession that was being offered, the rate for his house, or the rate would have been 5.625. So we're able to advertise for his home. If you buy this home and you use this lender, a preferred lender, you can have a rate as low as 5.625%. Does that sound familiar? Is anyone else out there doing that right now?
Isn't that what you're doing on your Santan?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. I read that when I was doing the open house.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
something that I just launched for Santan.
Mm.
But the builders are doing just that. The builders are offering 6% or 3% or $10,000 towards your closing if you use their preferred lender. So it's absolutely something that we could do. And the operative word there's if. I mean, they don't have to use our lender, but it's an opportunity to get additional marketing out there to say, if you buy this particular home, you can possibly get this rate. And right now with rates at 6.75%, a 5.625 is a great discount. So then I did some more math. At a $499 price point at 7%, the payment was, I don't have it in front of me, but it was like $2,900 at 7%. But if we lowered it to 5.625, it lowered it closer to the $2,500 range. So that's a $400 a month savings by going through this deal. Now, if the client decided to lower the price from $499 to $485, which he thought about, it actually would only save the client at that interest rate, 7%. It would only save the client, I think it was $32 a month. So do you think a client would much rather have $400 savings or a $32 savings? Especially in this time, because everyone's so payment conscious because rates are so high. So this becomes a conversation that you can have with your sellers. If this might be something they could be interested in. 1.5% ended up, if the deal actually goes through and someone uses that program, my client would ultimately, I think it was $12,000 they'll be giving in concessions, where if they lowered it down from $499 to $485, I think it was $14,000 the difference. So they would actually be giving less money, but benefiting their buyer more by going that direction. So Mike Tizano has a program again called Lock and List. They do some of the marketing for you. So if that's something that you have a seller that is interested in offering some type of concession, the minimum is a 1% concession. So I think my client decided to do 1.5%, but it's a great program and it's a way to kind of advertise a certain incentive if they buy that particular home. So I had a long conversation with Mike. So if anyone has a listing or interested in this program, just reach out to Mike and he will be able to give you all the details on it. But I know they did a video for me for that, for the Lock and List program using the house. But of course, we kind of picked it to pieces because it didn't have our logos and things like that on the video. So I'm trying to get it modified now so that we can launch it. But they did Facebook, what do you call that? The paid ad, is that right, Brian? Facebook paid ad,
PPC,
and he said that
pay-per-click
pay-per-click ad. So he said that it got over 14,000 views in the first week that it was on, because he can advertise it because it's his video, but we have to change, we have to modify it a little bit with our logos and our compliance in order to put it on our sites. So it's coming. So just in case you have listings, that could be an option for you. I also spoke with another friend of mine over in California. He's with New American Funding. And oh, is that the video?
It is, but
You can't play it?
is it showing as it's playing?
Yeah, it's just going slow, but
what I like about it is it's Epic is paying for the pay-per-clicks and getting the views. They're producing it. We just got to get them to do it MLS compliant, and which is on their end. So
Yeah.
if you got a listing and you want to offer that up to your sellers, I did 2 listing appointments last week, and they're all going to do it. They're going to offer the 1% concessions, and Epic's going to what do they say, match it.
Yep.
So
And then on there, it also has the QR code. So that QR code updates. So if rates update daily, the new rate with this lock and list program will update automatically with the QR code. They also send out a sign writer. Kind of interesting. And I got to talk to Mike today because I think they sent the sign writer to the house where I asked him if he could send it to me because the house is now vacant. But you can put a sign writer on the house with that QR code, and it actually says on the sign writer, this house qualifies for this rate, so that as people drive by, they can see that as well. So just thought it was a really good program. So we're trying it out right now, but it is a way to offering your sellers something additional in addition to just having them lower the price. Because honestly, Santan, I truly in my heart believe we have it priced correctly. It's just they're competing with the new bills that are down the street. That's what's happening. So,
I'm going to add
go ahead, Brian.
Here's the link. If you look in the chat, you'll see the Epic Lending chat link for it. So if you need to get with Tizano or insert the address there and get the information about it, that's the link you can get it at.
Thank you. The other program I was going to talk about, as we talked about sellers having more strategic plans and buyers doing different things in this market. I talked to a friend of mine who's with New American Funding in California, and they have a program called New American Funding Cash Purchase Program. So this company, if you qualify for a pre-qual or if you qualify with their company to purchase a home, but maybe you need to sell a home first. New American Funding has a program, and again, I would have you reach out to Dion with all the details. That's my disclaimer. But New American Funding has a program that allows you to go out and buy the new house cash using their cash. So a New American Funding will ultimately purchase the house for you with a lease back to you until you sell your home. And then there is a fee that's associated to it, but you can ultimately go shop in this competitive market as a buyer, as a cash buyer, if you use this New American Funding program. I was sent a referral from Dion in California from a person that's moving to Tempe from California, and they're using this program to purchase cash here. So the goal is so that it lessens the competition on their level, because all of us know that most cash buyers are pretty easy to work with.
Is that kind of like the knock program?
That's what I thought too, Selena. A lot like knock. I don't know how they mirror each other. And I'll be honest with you, like I was on a call last week because in order to sell this program through New American Funding, you have to take a 45-minute training. So I did the training. It seems like it mirrors it, but New American Funding, it's like they portfolio this deal. So they ultimately buy the house for you. So the house is under their name or under their LLC until you are able to pay them back.
So it's not like using their own, because doesn't knock use their own equity or something?
Yeah, knock uses the equity of the home that you're selling. These guys actually purchase the home for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but if anyone has want more details about that, I can get you in touch with Dion Westbrook at New American Funding out of California. He's a friend of mine too, but he's referring someone to me. So this came up and I was like, that's pretty cool program. So, okay. Oh, thank you, Brian, for bringing that up. So we're upon the end of our first quarter. So I just want to get some interaction a little bit. How's everyone doing towards their goals that they set?
I'm on track.
Good. Great to hear.
I've had
So
to put a
Brian's on
little bit
track.
more money. I had to put a little bit more advertising out because in my area, the area that I've decided to farm is getting very competitive. So I'm seeing positive trending inquiries, phone calls, and views. So I'm excited about it.
Do you mind sharing like some of the things that you're doing as far as the marketing?
So last year, I really relied mostly on my postcards to my sphere, which was monthly. And I had a really good return on investment for those, for the amount of money I was putting into it every month. So I turned around for 2025 and set a goal to farm 3 zip codes. So that's about 3,600 homes a month. And I'm getting at least 2 phone calls a week from my postcards. Each postcard is designed differently for each area. So it took me some time to make sure that I'm putting out content that's just not like everybody else's, and valuable information for the people in the area, or that I thought so. I did partner with Dan Francis for one zip code, Tizano for another, and Nicole and Great American were printing everything. And for that amount of marketing to that 3,600, I'm spending 300 a month.
Wow.
So I'm
Not
staying
bad.
in budget too, which is nice on my end.
And then, so the marketing that you're sending out, you said it's unique to others. So I know you put some of the local school information, some of the events that are going on at the parks. Is that and just the forecast of the overall market in that area?
Yeah, like so my Moon Valley zip code 85022. I didn't do the school information because there's only about 1 middle school, 1 high school, and I thought it would be more relevant to have, because it's an older community. So I have more of a real estate forecast information on that one. On the front end of the card, on the back end, it's me and Dan's pictures, right? The 85085 zip code, my kids go to 2 of the 3 schools up by us, and I put the school calendars, like you mentioned, on there, so that parents can know when the events are happening around the 3 campuses. So I've had parents actually text me and saying, you're invading my privacy, but at least they're seeing it.
Well, we're reaching them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you actually answered some of the next questions. Anyone else on track or a little behind or on target or ahead of your goals?
Well, some of you guys know I had a traumatic setback. So
Yes.
I finally got that taken care of. So I've also been in contact with Nicole recently so I can start getting my marketing back to where it needs to be. So she's working on getting the blueprints and everything right now so I can send it to Brian for him to make sure everything is good, and then we'll be rocking and rolling.
Okay, awesome. That's exciting. Okay.
I'll throw one more thing that I had to do to go along with my print marketing. If your social media isn't up to date or at least running, you really have to have some type of presence there, because the moment you get your print or anything else out there, they're going to Google you. They're going to look up and see what else is attached to you. So if your social media, if you don't have a business page, Google page, or something to back up your print, you may fade away. You may just blend in with everybody else. So I would recommend making sure you have that to go along with any other marketing that you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I need to do that. Okay, so some of the other questions that I have here, and Brian, you kind of answered a few of them, but how did you step out of your comfort zone in the first quarter? I don't know if you guys noticed, I did 2 videos in the first quarter. That was definitely out of my comfort zone. That's not what I do, but that's the way I stretch myself. But anyone else stretch themselves during the first quarter to get out of their comfort zone? Okay, Maria, I know you've done open houses in the first quarter.
Yep.
Lillian, you did an open house in the first quarter.
Yep.
So, I mean, I think that's comfort zone stretching, at least for me. Yeah. So overall, the first quarter, like I said, is coming to a close. If there's anything that we can do to help to push you or to counsel or anything that you guys need from us, please let us know. And we definitely want to be a resource for you to push you towards your goals for the rest of this year. Let's see. So far, as a brokerage, we've closed 9 transactions. We have 3 pending to close by the end of March, and we've closed a total of $4 million in sales. So, as a brokerage, as a team, us together, we are on track to our annual goals. So congratulations to everyone out there, and thank you all for your hard work. And as we move through, some things upcoming in April, we are having a CE class at the office. I'll get you the date for that. Once we have it, I'll be talking to Mike Tizano to find out when that is going to be. Brian is still hosting Workshop Wednesdays, a different topic pretty much every Wednesday. So they've been awesome. The last couple that we've had, I've definitely learned a lot. So those will be coming out too. So if you're available for Workshop Wednesdays, please hop on. Open house opportunities. I know Santan Valley, 1702 West Flintlock is still available for open house opportunities. Hannah has a listing at 3425 West Tacoma. That's also open for open house opportunities. The weather is nice right now, so people are getting out to the open houses. So if you're looking for buyers, it might be an opportunity for you to host an open house to get additional buyers, just because the weather is nice and people like to see houses this time of year.
Hosting one Sunday for
On
yours.
Sunday. Oh yeah, at
Yeah.
Santan. I'll get those door hangers from you too, so that we can
Yep.
get that.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'll be in the office tomorrow.
Okay,
Are you
perfect.
guys going to be there?
I will not, because I'll be out until Friday, but
Okay.
I'll figure out how to get them to my buddy in Santan, even if he has to come get them. So
Okay.
Beatrice also has 2 listings, one that's in Tullison and one that's in Buckeye. I'm not sure if they're available for open houses. I was actually hoping to see her this morning, but I will I'll confirm, and then I'll just send an email out if anyone wants to do any open houses at those 2 also. I know, Brian, you have a new listing, but is it ready?
It is not, but it will be available for open houses. It's at 15th Avenue in Beardsley. 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, and a pool, priced at $425.
Awesome. And Selena Gilbert, anything?
No, she's still in thinking stages, but I do have one coming up on 35th in Peoria, just south
Okay.
of Peoria.
Okay.
That one won't be available until end of April, early May though.
Okay.
It's going to be around 400.
Cool. All right. Well, keep us posted on that one. Aaron, do you have anything for us this morning?
Nothing this morning. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you. And all right. So we have about a minute to spare. So everyone have a fantastic week. As I mentioned, I will be out until Friday. I will be in the office today, but I'll be out until Friday. I am going on my annual fishing trip with my dad starting tomorrow. And I'll be back on Thursday evening, but I'll be back in the office on Friday. I will have my computer with me though, so business as usual. But if you can't get me on the phone throughout the day, it's probably because I'm at the river. But I will be returning calls and emails. So, okay, well, everyone have a great week. Maria, I will give you a call a little bit later so we can coordinate how to get those door hangers.
Yeah. I can always meet you somewhere too if you want, or
I'll be
I
in the
can-
office tomorrow if you want to. Wait, you're not going to bring them here?
Well,
Yeah.
I have to get them to Santan Valley because the kid is in Santan Valley. So maybe I'll try to get them today to meet the kid.
Got it.
Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
give me
everyone,
a call.
have a wonderful day, and let us know if you need anything.